In days when a kingdom was not secured by speeches, but by battles, God did not only raise up David, he established a purpose, and with that purpose he raised up men. Not merely soldiers, but mighty men, warriors forged under pressure, loyal in the dark, steady when most would retreat. Scripture records them by name, as if heaven itself wanted to make one thing clear: faithfulness is never forgotten, and victory ultimately belongs to the Lord. Picture the landscape: dust hanging in the air, iron in the hand, borderlands threatened, fields contested, strongholds shifting hands, a people needing stability. And then the biblical record opens a special register: the mighty men of David. Not to glorify violence for its own sake, but to reveal a principle of the kingdom. When God establishes his work, he sustains those who serve it, and again the story points to the same conclusion: the Lord gives the victory. The chronicle begins at the highest tier, the elite, the men who stood where the fight was most intense. The first name comes with a striking detail because the parallel accounts preserve two different numbers. In 2 Samuel, the hero is identified as Josheb-Bashebeth the Tachmonite, also called Adino the Eznite, and it says he lifted up his spear against 800 whom he slew at one time. In 1 Chronicles, the record presents him as Joshabim the son of Hakmoni, and there it says he lifted up his spear against 300 whom he slew at one time. 2 passages, 2 figures, one overwhelming message. This was an extraordinary feat, a moment when a single man held the line with a strength that cannot be explained by human will alone. Beyond the number, the point remains: God empowered a man to stand when collapse seemed inevitable. Then the narrative shifts without losing momentum, and the second great name steps forward: Eleazar, the son of Dodo the Ahohite. His story is not merely about strength, but endurance. The scene is stark. Others fall back, the enemy presses in, and Eleazar remains. He fights until exhaustion overtakes him, until his hand clings to the sword as though letting go would mean surrendering the assignment itself. This is the image of a man who refuses to release responsibility when fear spreads through the ranks. And then Scripture marks the true center of the story. It was not the edge of a blade that decided the outcome. The Lord wrought a great victory. Eleazar fought, yes, but God secured the result. And then comes a moment that seems smaller at first, yet it exposes the heart of courage. In 2 Samuel, the record highlights Shammah, the son of Agi the Hararite, defending a field when the people fled. Not a palace, not a fortress, a field, ordinary ground, ordinary produce. But in wartime, a protected field means bread for a nation. It means life for families. Shammah stands his ground, strikes the Philistines, and the account returns to the same spiritual rhythm: the Lord wrought a great victory. Some battles claim territory, others reveal character. This one did both. Just when you think you've reached the summit of bravery, Scripture presents a different kind of heroism, less about a frontal clash and more about devotion that burns like fire. 3 of the 30 go down toward Bethlehem, where the Philistines had a garrison. David expresses a longing: water from the well by the gate of Bethlehem. It is not a military order, just a desire spoken aloud. But these men hear it, and they choose to move toward danger. They break through the enemy camp, draw the water, and return with it. From a tactical perspective, it is a staggering risk. From the standpoint of loyalty, it is a declaration: what matters to you matters to us. Yet Scripture turns the scene into worship. David refuses to drink it. He pours it out before the Lord, as if saying, "I cannot treat as comfort what was brought at the cost of blood." Loyalty becomes reverence. Now the story pivots again, bringing forward 2 men who stand near the highest circle, leaders whose names carry their own weight. Abishai, the brother of Joab, enters the record as a fierce commander. It says he lifted up his spear against 300 and slew them. Abishai is the kind of warrior who moves toward the hardest place in the fight, where hesitation is fatal. And his presence teaches something vital. In God's work, intention is not enough. Courage is proved when the risk is real. Then comes one of the most vivid profiles in the entire list, Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada. His story unfolds in scenes that feel almost cinematic. He slew 2 lion-like men of Moab. He went down into a pit in a snowy day and killed a lion. He faced an Egyptian, a man of great stature, and though the Egyptian had a spear, Benaiah went against him with a staff, seized the spear from his hand, and killed him with it. This is not reckless bravado, it is composure in chaos, mastery over fear, clarity under pressure. Behind that steadiness is a spiritual truth. When the moment turns critical, God strengthens the one who remains faithful to the task. But here, Scripture does something many people overlook, and it may be the most powerful part. After highlighting the most famous deeds, the Bible begins to name the mighty men one by one, like a roll call before heaven. Because the kingdom is not sustained only by those with the most dramatic stories. It is sustained by those who marched, watched, guarded camps, covered flanks, secured routes, endured hunger, fatigue, and long campaigns. Even when Scripture does not attach a detailed exploit to each name, the fact that the name is recorded is testimony enough. They were counted among the mighty. So listen to these names as though you were walking through a camp at dawn, smoke rising from the fires, weapons prepared, men readying themselves for another march. Understand this: God does not forget the one who serves in silence. Asahel, the brother of Joab. Elhanan, the son of Dodo of Bethlehem. Shamoth, the Hororite. Helez, the Pelonite. Ira, the son of Ikish, the Tekoite. Abiezer the Anatothite, Sibbecai the Hushathite, Eli the Ahoite, Maharai the Netophathite, Heled the son of Bana the Netophathite. And as the list continues, you begin to see the fabric of the kingdom, men from different regions, different families, different tribes, bound together by one cause. Ithai the son of Ribai of Gibeah that pertained to the children of Benjamin, Benaiah the Piratonite, Hurai of the brooks of Gosh, Abiel the Arbathite, Azmaveth the Baharumai, Eliaba the Shalbonite, the sons of Hashem the Gizonite, Jonathan the son of Shagi the Hararite, Ahiam the son of Sakar the Hararite. There is something quietly significant here. Men from Benjamin appear in this roster, the tribe of Saul, the first king. That signals transition and healing, a people learning to follow what God is establishing, not merely what history once was. The record continues. Eliphal, the son of Ur, Hefer, the Mecherathite, Ahijah, the Pelonite, Hezro, the Carmelite, Narai, the son of Ezbai.
Joel, the brother of Nathan, Mibar, the son of Hagari. And then the text includes foreigners as well, reminding us that loyalty to God's purpose can gather those once far away. Zelek, the Ammonite, Naharai, the Beerothite, the armor-bearer of Joab. To be an armor-bearer was not ceremonial. It was dangerous. It meant standing close enough to leadership to take the blow meant for the commander. It was the ministry of covering, of protecting, of holding steady in the critical hour. And God recorded it. Then come Ira the Ithrite, Gareb the Ithrite, and a name that carries weight because of everything his life came to represent, Uriah the Hittite. Uriah's presence among the mighty men is a sober reminder that David's reign contained both glory and tragedy. Scripture does not polish its heroes. It reveals the holiness of God and the frailty of man so that we learn reverence. Faithfulness is precious, and the failures of leadership can wound the innocent. The Bible names Uriah not to entertain us, but to teach us. The roll call continues. Zabad, the son of Ahlai, Adinah, the son of Shiza, the Reubenite, a captain of the 30, and 30 with him. Hanan, the son of Maacah. Joshaphat, the Mithnite. Uzziah, the Ashtorethite. Shammah and Jehiel, the sons of Hothan, the Arorite. Jediel, the son of Shimri. Joha, his brother, the Tizite. Eliel, the Mahavite. Jerubai and Obed and Jasiel, the Mesabite. And that is how the register closes, not with a single hero standing alone, but with a company. Because a kingdom is sustained by teamwork, by ranks, by men who remain when it is dangerous, inconvenient, exhausting, and long. If you want the pulse of an epic war chronicle, imagine the broader map: Philistines pressing in, garrisons holding key points, fields that had to be protected so the people could eat, routes that could not be allowed to fall. In that world, these mighty men were the difference between stability and ruin. Yet Scripture will not let the focus settle on human glory. Again and again the story returns to the center. God intervenes, God strengthens, God preserves, God grants victory. And that is the spiritual conclusion. These names are not only ancient history, they are a mirror. Many battles today are not fought with spears, yet they demand the same kind of courage, standing firm when others retreat, holding the assignment when the soul grows weary, remaining faithful when no one is watching, and remembering that true victory is never born from pride. It is born from walking under the hand of God. Because the message is not merely that there were mighty men. The message is this: when God advances his purpose, he raises the faithful. And when the faithful lean on God, the Lord turns their endurance into victory.